Now, going back in sort of the topic of representation, one thing that I've noticed that is so weird to observe is the changing of movies being more inclusive. And I know that several years ago, could have never imagined a movie like Crazy Rich Asians, or now that Henry Golding is in a Christmas romance movie. It's wild to see. Do you think that the industry is shifting in a trend where now they see the profitability of films that are more inclusive because of films like Crazy Rich Asians and Black Panther, since they've done so well?
Yeah, I think capitalism is leading the way. So like after
Woo!
Black Panther and like Crazy Rich Asians, they're like, oh, we can make money off of these people. So it's not like tugging at their heartstrings to do this.
Yeah.
But there are people like behind the scenes who are climbing the ladder that are making these changes and advocating for us. But for the majority that's still in power, it's also the aspect of the dollar, and the green is the most important color. And so I'm appreciative I guess in a capitalist society, that's a strategy. that you can make money, and then they'll make more films for you. But as we continue to grow and expand, then push people up into those executive producer roles, showrunner roles, so that there could be that authentic voice, like the opportunity Issa Rae got and all this stuff, like, because we know when it wasn't us that did it.
Oh yeah.
We could tell. We're like, that's just a main like a regular story with some a different skin color,
Yeah.
different eye. Like, no, we didn't do that.
Yeah. I remember Dragon Ball Z. I don't want to go back there.
Yeah, I knew that Black people had to do with Into the Spiderverse. I was like, just the opening scene, that just was like, it welcomed us in. The people who grew up in a New York City, or grew up Black, or grew up just like in that, because the way he was singing to the music and didn't know all the words, like, that's that authenticity of like, you knew that was us. And then when I just reviewed the short film by Jamal Bradley, Substance, like the way there was an opening scene where the guy is walking down the street, and just the way he walks like Obama. Like, so you know that, like, I guess maybe a white animator could have done that, but in America, a Black animator did that.
And that really does speak to the sort of the need to have people who are in the culture working on the actual creative, because there's just so many subtleties, like, even whether it's animation or whether you're talking about cinematography, like, being able to have people who are of the culture, who know specific things about, like, hey, the set should look like this, or the character should walk or talk like that. Like, it's so important that, and it's oftentimes overlooked, like you said. So often we just see these movies that are just, it might as well be a white person, but it's just they're Asian or they're Black.
And that cinematography piece is huge. That's why there has been articles about that with Insecure, with Issa Rae, like the purples and the blues that they use.
Yeah.
That. And then also I recently watched Dolomite Is My Name on Netflix, and that was something that Dervell Martin, who played by Wesley Snipes, when they were like shooting the movie, he was given some education. He was like, is that the DP? And Eddie Murphy's character was like, what? The director of photography. Like, does he know that Black people skin absorb light, and then white people reflect it? So you have to know that. I was like, yeah, they teaching people something a little, if you were paying attention. So, like, yeah, that is very important. And that's why I'm here too, because I also did I responded to when they tried to change Princess Tiana's color in the Wreck-It Ralph film, because they came out with her, she was dark skinned in like a July trailer, and then in the September trailer she was like light skinned and she looked mixed. And so Disney strategically never commented on that.
Really? Uh-oh.
Anika Nani Rose, which was the character of Princess and the Frog,
Mm-hmm.
she commented on it, and she said they told her, "Oh, the lighting and all this stuff," and it's like bold-faced lie. That's why we need black animators, because I'm calling BS. Because how it works in animation, if you can light a black suit, like from Hotel Transylvania, you can light a black person. And the thing you can do in 3D that you can't do in real life, you can call light linking. You can link a light to the person that doesn't affect anybody else. So if they're darker in the scene, you could just add a light for them and light link it, and then not make it affect any other character, and then you could see them. So no, that's why. Oh, the lighting. Yeah, that might be true in real life, where it's hard to take a picture of a bunch of white people with a dark skinned person. But in 3D, no, you do not have that excuse.
Yeah, not at all. And that's an you bring up a good point, because for me, I'm a photographer, and I always am, frustrated when photographers aren't aware of, whether they're doing video or whether they're doing photos, recognizing that you have to light people differently. Like, a really pale white person is going to be lit very differently than someone who has more tan skin. And I, like you mentioned, Insecure, and I know that, like, Luke Cage and Moonlight, I think that the director of photography also was talking about that same thing, about understanding that you need to sort of approach the lighting differently. And I think it's kind of cool, because it adds a different creative layer. Like, oh wow, like, you normally don't see it shot this way, and I think it's kind of cool to be able to see that played out.
Yeah.
Now, as someone who you work in the creative field, and a lot of the projects that you do, I'm sure, are things mainly, for specific clients. How do you reconcile the work that you have to do for the job versus the type of creative work that you want to do for yourself? Like, what types of work do you like to do? Like, not you with no intention of, like, I'm going to monetize this or whatever. Like, what type of artistic work gives you meaning that you actually just legitimately enjoy doing yourself?
Yeah, so like I was saying earlier, I'm also, in my free time, I'm the president of the Urban League Young Professionals. So like, my dad calls me Angela Davis, and like, he raised us to be like Black Power. And so a lot of the projects that I'm interested in working on, because I don't have the time now. Like in 2020, I will have time, because I'll have much more free time. But it's mostly like historical, and not just Black. Like I have, because I have folders on my computer of projects that I want to work on, like Native American, like the Sikhs, like, or just the Black history of, like, acknowledging that there were Black cowboys, from where I'm from, like all the people from Detroit. I have projects that I want to do. Even like, I have like a stylish kids project, so it's like just representation, and just like showing all these different types of people. And so that's like mostly what I want to do. And one project that I did in 2007, it was based out of a conversation that I had with some guys, and they were talking about avatars in video games, and they were like, for Black guys, you can have like maybe a fade, an afro, and some dreads. It's like, that's it. And so I created a project called the Black Hair Alphabet, and so I did like a daily project, and that was particularly when I was teaching at Loyola. So I don't even know why I did that to myself. Like, I was waking up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, so I could work early, so I could leave work early, so I could go teach. And then at night, I'm like, yeah, let me do a daily project to really make it fun. And so I did like, A is for Afro, B is for Bantu knot, C is for conch, D is for dreads, E is for edge up, F is for finger waves. And so like, I did like, not every hairstyle is a Black hairstyle,
Mm-hmm.
but when you only have 26 letters, like, you just got to do what you got to do. So V is for victory rolls, which is like the army rolls from back in the day, like the 20s or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I did that because I wanted to show, in my current skill set, that you don't have to just have 3 hairstyles for a Black person. And then another iteration of the project that I want to do is, I want to learn how to do realistic hair. in 3D. And so I'm going to revisit the project when I can do realistic hair. And so that would be even more to show them, to prove to them, like, it's possible. Like, you can do a fade in 3D and it be accurate. It doesn't have to look like trash.